with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist. Yo, I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hard like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clever D, the Combat G, and the Sports Professor.
Yes. We are here. Welcome to your favorite combat sports duo. You have yours truly, the Sports Professor, joined by the star of the show, my man over this way, I hope, but it's mirroring, so it could be that way. I'm not sure, but that's Clever D, the Combat G. What is up, my brother? How is it going today?
What up, peoples? How y'all doing? How y'all living? I really don't care. Hope you listen.
We do. I like a little bit of the bars off the top. I like that. We do appreciate y'all tuning in for sure. Here at Ball and Bud Sports and Entertainment, we appreciate y'all joining us on a Thursday. Not that there's really anything else going on, because I know it was just upstairs, and I think I seen the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge is on.
Yeah, it's bad.
The NHL All-Star Draft. Like, what are we doing right now?
I got my fantasy bull riding league about to start up a little bit. So
the fantasy bull riding,
fantasy bull riding. You know what I'm saying? I be into that. I'm trying to expand my sports stuff in the dry spells of sports season. Sometimes, you know, basketball hasn't picked up just yet, so you know. It is what it is.
Yo, you know you was a damn. You ain't never bet on bull riding a day in your life, sir.
Yeah, sure I have. Trust me. They used to. Hey, look, I was about to say they used to call me back in the day, but I've done some cows before. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. All right. Dale Snell know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the herder. You know what I'm saying?
The herder. And yes, the euphemisms are going super hard already. Pause on Jesus. That one. Wow, sirs. That was reckless. All right. We already starting out reckless. Let's go ahead and again, hey, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, as those kids say. Join us, Ball and Buds. Also, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, wherever you can find us, you'll find us here. And you also find the Bottom Line Sports on there. Tap in with us at the Bottom Line Sports. Join our Facebook group, Flo, Canteen, Hot Take Jake. They're all out there. And also, join us this Sunday at the Bottom Line Sports at 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe 7:30. I'm not sure yet. We haven't decided, but just tap in at the Bottom Line Sports, and we will be coming on Sunday, even though it's not a football day. Yes. All right. So getting into it again, welcome. Ball and Buds Combat Sports Special. Clever D, the Combat G. First, let's start off with the breaking news that has come out over the past week. There have been many different stories, but just touch on the most important ones.
Well, for starters, yeah. What up, whoever that is? Facebook.
Sorry, it doesn't tell us your name.
But hey, we appreciate you. So the first story we see so far, we got Stevenson. Okay, Shakur Stevenson saying he's retiring at age 26. This is the man that's unified champion at 130, now the WBC champion at 135. He moved up. He's saying he's retiring, and the reason he's retiring is because he's frustrated. I feel like he can't get a fight. All All right. You got other fighters in that division. Devin Haney has relinquished the belt, so he has won the belt. So you got 3 other belts floating out there. Javante Davis was the regular champion at the WBA, but are they going to turn to a super champion? That's in the main belt. You got the WBO still out there, and the IBF. You know what I'm saying? You got the lineal, but nobody wants to fight him. And this man has about, I think he had 1 or 2 fights left on Top Rank before he becomes a free agent. So he's just frustrated. It reminds me of Terrence Bud Crawford when he was at 147 after he got the WBO from Jeff Horn. Nobody wanted to fight him. Nobody wanted to cross the street from PBC to Top Rank to fight him. So he's frustrated, and I feel for the kid.
Now, come on, though. I've got to be the realist here. These boxers, I'm tired of these fake retirement announcements every year because they're either not happy with where their career is, or they're mad at their promoter, or a myriad of other reasons why they decide to retire. And then this has been happening for decades, for centuries in boxing. Can you say why this is such an epidemic? Because speaking of Haney, because you just mentioned Haney in the news with Garcia. Garcia had retired for Garcia 6 months.
as Kendrick Lamar said, let's tuck the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. I'm tired of like Garcia. He's I'm about to call him Danny Garcia, but Ryan Garcia. I'm sorry, Danny he's emotional too, but Ryan Garcia, it's like the dude's always whining about something. Okay, oh this, oh that. I feel like for him, it's a little separate from the other boxers. He does have problems with Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya. He does have problems with his promotions. He wants to do what he wants. He wants to leave, probably go to PBC or something like that. But you can't. You're in your contract, so unfortunately, you can't go nowhere. They do want to negotiate with other people, but the other people don't want to negotiate with them. Like Shakur Stevenson, he was supposed to fight Pitbull a long time ago. Pitbull did the duck move. Tank Davis ain't gonna fight him. You know what I'm saying? That's just not gonna happen. Tank, for some reason, doesn't like fighting fighters with dark melanin that are African American. It is what it is. He's only fought 3 as a professional. Only fought 3. It is what it is. So he doesn't like fighting certain types of fighters. We'll touch on that later. For all you lovely Tank fans, I'm a Tank fan too, but I'm a realist. So Shakur is just frustrated. He can't get a fight, and I have an issue with fighters that are on his side of the street and promotion not pushing for that fight, because a certain fighter we'll name later could have fought him, but did like that person, like he did to Devin Haney, chose not to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So bit of a duck move, but these people get passes. It is what it is.
And yeah, they'll eventually find somebody for him, but he's too an immense of a talent. He's only 26 years old. He's the 135-pound WBC champion. He hits hard as a rock. He's out here knocking people out. Like it's frustrating to me, and I'm sure other boxing fans, to see these fake retirements when we know that it's not real. We know that it's not true. So anyway, speaking of, my shout out my boy Gary here. He lives in the building. We were at the gym earlier, and he was asking me about the Haney and Garcia situation. So first off, shout out to Gary, and also shout out to his lady. I'm gonna put her government out there just because I'm trying to help out her business. She's a realtor here in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
So if you're looking for a place in Nashville and you need a realtor, her name is Dominique Elkins, Elkins. Hope she's not upset that I put her government out there, but I'm sure she would not. Just trying to help out, get her some business. Hey, she's helping out the community, so she's doing a great thing. Anyways, shout out to Gary for that. So what are your thoughts on that possible encounter?
Well, Ryan Garcia, they initially started negotiating to fight each other. Because they had fought 3 times in amateurs, both won 3 times, so they're kind of tied in amateurs. But they initially started, and then Ryan Garcia took that picture with Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd and Devin. Floyd's always been kind of holding that resentment for Devin not signing with Floyd Mayweather's promotion, so he did his own thing, which was smart. So he's kind of he's hella petty. So next day, Ryan's already going to sign and fight Rolly Ramirez for the 140 WBA belt. And it's like, wait a minute, where'd that come from? You're starting to negotiate with Devin for the WBC belt at 140. So, they kind of just, the negotiations fell through. So now Floyd just pulled another duck move. Say, you know what? Since Amazon Prime's put up going to showcase us. Rolly was like, why would I fight on the Zone with 300,000 subscribers when I can fight on Amazon with millions of subscribers? And so he's going to fight Pitbull, which is in-house for PBC, on Amazon. So it's it's business. So now Ryan's going back with his tail tucked between his legs, going to go back to Devin Haney. And the thing about that fight is Ryan obviously wants more money and he wants to be the A side. Technically, he might bring more people, but you never know because Devin Haney sold out the arena where the Warriors play his last fight against Regis Progress. He had about 15,000 there. So he could put asses in seats, kind of like I do some of y'all's mothers when they come see me work out at the gym. So some of y'all dusty too, ain't brush your teeth yet. But yeah, so you can't really say
mother
that, but he does have the social media follow. He's big for social media follow. He has millions and millions of followers, but tuck
your mother in. That was a good one.
The fight, it don't matter. Saying Haney's gonna give him that work.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Haney is the better fighter overall. Just now, I mean, that's not to put down Garcia. I know that you're not as high on him as
he's not bad. He's just not what people think he is.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. You don't think his hype matches his actual output. And yeah, it probably doesn't. He probably does have a lot more Instagram followers and things like that, social media presence, than he does. I don't want to say boxing skill.
He's like Logan Paul, Jake Paul level when it comes to social media. He's like up there.
Right.
A big follower like that.
But he's definitely a better fighter than either one of those guys. So.
Oh, of course, not even close.
Speaking of, there was a rumor going around, and I'm going to say rumor allegedly because I don't want anybody coming after the ball and buds. But I was on Twitter earlier, and there's like pictures going around of Jake Paul alleging him to be on the juice because of some pictures that had like acne on his face and things like that. So I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That could be AI generated too, though. So.
No, I mean, these guys, that's what happened. A lot of fighters do juice, MMA and boxing. A lot of them do it. It's just they know when they're going to get tested. And some of these guys have these long layoffs so they can flush it out their system before they start training again, Right, I'm not going to name the boxers who the rumors were around. Someone who fought Terrence Crawford and lost recently, but a lot of rumors about certain boxers being on the sauce. And, it's part of the game. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But I'm like I'm on the stance of like Roy Jones Jr. He's like, I don't care what you're doing, I'll still knock you out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, right.
Stuff don't give you a granite chin. You know what I'm saying? So
that is definitely true.
Yeah, you could be. It can help you with endurance. It can help you recovery, muscle growth, things of that nature. But it's still not going to help your chin. If you don't have a chin, it is what it is. You get hit, going to sleep. You ain't Sergeant Slaughter. You're not Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, not the Jay Leno chin. Oh man, that harkens me back to an inside joke of ours.
Well, I was about to go there.
You were about to go there.
I was going to go what young lady we're talking about. I already know.
I love it. I love that we have been friends for such a long time that we have inside jokes that we don't even need to say before we know. Anyways, that was my dad. Shout out, Pops. I don't know why your name's not coming up, but I love you. Thanks for tuning in. All right.
They got the Angels Envy at the Dale City Angel Envy ride at the Dale City ABC liquor store. Okay, they got that. I was in it.
Hey, you better stop on your way home before 9 o'clock. You better go stop on your way home. Oh wait.
Oh, it was $100. I was gonna buy that.
Oh, was it? It was $100 for real?
Yeah, it's about. I'll grab it next time I see it.
Or just wait till you come here because it's at Frugal McDougal's for like $60 or like.
Yeah, you guys get it better source.
Yeah. So, anyways, shout out Frugal McDougal's though. One of the cheapest liquor stores I've ever been to. They got that high quality liquor for an affordable value. So, anyway, shout out them. Awesome. Do you have any other news or anything you want to talk about before we get into the fan mailbag?
The biggest news. The news we've all been waiting for, and this conspiracy around it. I was listening to CJ Sports TV. He's big, good boxing. You guys want to learn about boxing? Oh, his channel. CJ, he's up in Detroit. He's legit. Okay, he's
shout
legit.
Out. I don't know him, but shout out. Okay. All right.
but
That's
the
hilarious.
rumors are out there. It's been kind of out there. Al Heyman kind of alluded to this also, but Spence Crawford Part 2 is done. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
it's not going to happen. First, they're saying Spence with the cataract eye surgery he recently had. Also, the money. Amazon doesn't want to put the money up. They lost money on this fight. So
really interesting.
Yeah, this is the reason why they lost money. And the way CJ put it out there, now there's smoke, there's fire. So all these promoters talk, okay? Dana White out here, all these guys talk. So we know we've been waiting for this fight. Al Heyman did not want this fight to happen, okay? And Earl Spence pushed, got it to happen finally. After Terrence Crawford getting on him for all these years, so he finally agreed for the fight. Al Heyman had this fight go on the same day as UFC, and this was UFC's first time in Utah. And I think it was Alex Pereira moving up. I forgot who. It was a good card. It was a real good card. So UFC actually did like 700,000 or close to $1 million total. So that's money from you going to UFC that could be watching boxing. I think this pay-per-view maybe did 700 or 600,000 pay-per-view buys. So what he's saying is Al Heyman put it on the same day as UFC, knowing that they might not sell as much. Therefore, they didn't, basically you could say, hey, why do this rematch when it didn't make so much money? You know what I'm saying? Plus, Earl Spence got that ass whooped, so who wants to pay to see this again? So there's a lot of variables come in with this rematch, and that's why
wow,
I thought it happened. So
now it has to happen though at some point because it was contractually obligated, right?
Yes, but PBC it's PBC's contract, so they can just not have it.
Okay,
it's not the fighters saying they don't want to fight; it's the company.
Right.
So if the company doesn't want to do it, I think there's a time frame when rematches have to happen. So I think that plays a factor as well. So yeah, this rematch ain't gonna happen apparently.
That just seems really odd though, because it was a one-sided, ass whooping that Crawford put on Spence. But we all thought Spence, and we still do, was a good fighter beforehand. And I would think after with a second shot, maybe a better training camp, more experience coming in after fighting him already, that he would have a better chance. And so, I can't see that not being one of the top money-making fights, whether they lost money or not. It's still got to be one of the top grossing. Because, I mean, if you can't make money off of those two stars, who are two of the biggest stars that we have, then boxing's in a lot more trouble than
This is the problem. This is the problem with that. Okay, you get these boxing fans, these so-called boxing fans, and they like certain boxers, and they all sound the same. Hey man, you watching the fight, man? Yeah, I'm watching the fight. How you watching the fight? Oh, I'm streaming. Okay. Hey man, you watching the fight? I'm watching the fight. How you gonna watch it? I'm gonna stream it. Okay. You get a UFC fan. How you gonna watch the fight? Well, I'm gonna order it. So until these people until people start buying these things and making more money for the sport, yeah, maybe. But they're not putting on these big fights because that's another thing. They're saying, oh, the piracy, da, 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 da. That's like Tank Davis. They be talking about that too all the time. Everyone's still in the fights and stuff. So, me, I don't do that.
And I get that is definitely, that can definitely be an issue. Obviously, if they're not grossing as much money as they could. Now, I would venture to say, with the way that TV is going these days, with streaming and, as you just mentioned, Amazon and all these other, Netflix, which we'll talk about buying Raw for $5 billion, right? We'll talk about that later. By the way, y'all, stay tuned. We're going to talk about the WWE situation, WWF situation later in the show. You're not going to want to miss Clubber D and I talking about that, so stay tuned for that. But, with the way things are going with the streaming deals and TV deals and stuff like that, a lot of things are being given away free nowadays. Mm-hmm. Movies, when they go into the movie theaters, they're already the first day, they're already on some of these streaming platforms available for rent, buy, or even free sometimes if you're a subscriber to one of these. So while you may be losing a little bit of profit here and there from people, pirating the stuff on illegal streams, which you should always support, the things that you love. So if you love it, you should order it anyways and just support it. But my thing is that I think that's a cop out. I think that's an excuse. I don't think that's a reason that you shouldn't try to make money, because the money that you make is going to outweigh the people that may have streamed it, just because you can't count on those people anyways. A lot of those people just weren't going to buy regardless, so you weren't going to make that money anyways. So I just think
it's not like back in the day when we knew a couple people.
Not the
we knew a couple people that had the black box back at home. You know what I'm saying? We go to the wrestling pay-per-views and stuff like that. That was back in the day, but that's few and far between. A lot of people stream nowadays, like hundreds of thousands to millions stream. So that's taking away, okay? And the problem, streaming is one thing, but actually going to the fight as well, that's another thing. A lot of people don't go to fights. It's not like overseas, like in Europe or in Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't support as much going to the fights. There's not many household names in boxing. This is another tangent I can get on later on, but there's not a lot of household names in boxing, okay? No one can really name, besides Deontay Wilder, name a young heavyweight American. No one really can, besides I do, Big Baby Jared Anderson, you know what I'm saying? But no one can really, because I'm a boxing nerd, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not like everyone else. I'm the ones who been watching Tuesday night fights back in the day on USA and watching the fights on CBS and Boxing After Dark and things like that with my pops back in the day. You know, that was me growing up. So I loved watching stuff, but not the average person won't do this.
Willie,
you need Angela at Wegmans buying sushi on Wednesday night, okay? You need Pamela going to Giants in whole milk on Monday. You need these people to care. You need these people to care about boxing. That's why you need to branch out and do what they used to do back in the day. Have boxing on free TV. Build a character. Build a fighter up on Fox, on USA, or things of that nature. Then go to a pay-per-view. Don't just give me a pay-per-view once a year of Gervonta Davis fighting Billy Bob Johnson Orton doing an STF on somebody. Don't nobody care about that. I want him to fight somebody good. You know what I'm saying?
Bob Orton in the reference with the STF. I don't know what just happened there. My bad. That was my bad. Did not mean to do that. Okay, cool.
Shout out to Weeby. I haven't seen that guy in a while.
Shout out to the one-eyed wonder here in the middle. That is our boy, redhead.
Oh, I just noticed that.
The Weebster. Yeah, what I was trying to do was switch us, because I'm over top of you, and that doesn't really make sense.
You're next.
Wow.
You're right here.
Reckless as all get out. I just said I'm all over you. That was right.
Oh, no, you're going crazy today.
Pause on that. All right. Let us move then into our fan mailbag. Hey, y'all, we really appreciate y'all sending in that mail. We really appreciate it. We've got a lot of different emails from all over the world, actually, for Clubber D. So, by the way, you can email your questions. We will always be doing a fan mailbag every episode. And we'll probably start doing these a lot more frequently, maybe every 2 weeks or so. We're looking into that, so just stay tuned. But ClubberDBNB at Gmail, and you can email that. So ClubberDBNB at Gmail. That being said, the first question comes from Chin Music Maestro. That's a beautiful screen name. I love that screen name. And they are from Vegas, from good old Vegas, which shout out. The Super Bowl will be held there in 2 weeks, and shout out my boy Fly Guy. I'll be there with him in 2 weeks, and
nice.
that should be a fun time. By the way, I can't believe they were giving out those. I can, because it's for veterans, but those free tickets to the Super Bowl.
Wow,
man. I was like, man, I would go with Clubber D just because it's a Super Bowl and it's free. I don't have to be my team. I'll go. But unfortunately, that was a little short notice for trying to hop out there. But it is what it is. All right, so the first question is about yo boy. I know you like him. You're high on him, Tim Zhu, who is a Australian. Yes, shout out Ian by the way, our resident Australian fan on the show. But yeah, so anyways, Tim Tszyu, Australian superstar, 29 years old, looking to continue to rise, will meet former welterweight champion Keith Thurman in a 155-pound fight. And this is going to be March 30th in Vegas. That might be why the person is from Vegas. That makes sense. They live there. So this fight is going to be March 30th in Vegas, and it's going to kick off PBC's partnership, as you were just talking about so astutely, Clubber D, with Amazon Prime Video. So can you go into this fight? And obviously, I know that we already talked about the streaming portion of things, but this is one of the stars that's looking to, really break out now. And this is, the first, I would say, high-profile contender that most hardcore boxing fans would know.
Yeah, Tim Tszyu, he's the son of legendary boxer Kasa Tszyu. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, legend.
That's his son. So Tim Tszyu's a good fighter. When he fought Tony Harrison, he put he put him through the ringer. Tony Harrison, and he beat him like he owed him money. It was that bad. You know what I'm saying? He went there down under he was down in Australia for that ass whooping, and you know what I'm saying, I almost got hit upside the head with a boomerang. It was so bad, you know what I'm saying? It was just awful. They stopped the fight, and then he beat me.
And how many Joeys did you talk to?
Oh, I was down there. I was about 6 or 7. I gave him some milk, had to pet him a little bit.
Joey.
I got into it with like 3 dingoes and kicked the shit out of them.
Not a dingo.
So, yeah, Australia, sometimes, me down there, But yeah, so he's the man down in Australia. He's the guy down like Camp Wilson, but he's trying to build his American fan base, and he was supposed to fight Charlo, the Charlo that lost to Canelo. He's supposed to fight him for about a year, but Charlo had that hand injury, never fought him, and then moved up to fight Canelo, and then the WBO belt that he has, he was the number one contender. They just gave it to him, which is, people like to say, it's internet champion. He became the true WBO champion. That's how he has the belt now. Now, this fight with Keith Thurman, a person who hasn't fought in about over 2 years, he was so cringe. I hate that word cringe, but he was so corny at the press conference.
The word is cringe.
Trying to be funny. Like, I like you, Keith Thurman, but just stop talking sometimes. You're not funny. And he's like a flat-footed Mexican. Dude, you almost got knocked out by a Mexican in your last fight. So what are you talking about? Like, Cito Lopez almost knocked you out. Like, you had to hold on to him. Mario Barros had him on the reels, another Mexican. So stop. Don't say he's a flat-foot Mexican. It makes no sense. Anyways, so Keith Thurman, he's moving up. He's fought at 154 before. He's fought in upper weight class, but it's been a while. This guy doesn't fight. It's like Earl. It's like these PBC fighters. They fight once every 3-4 years. It's like the episode. It's like season 3 of The Wire. You got to wait like 2 years for it to come out. It makes no sense. So he's fighting after a long layoff, and he's basically going to be sacrificial lamb to Tim Tszyu on a pay-per-view. And kind of rap, Tim Tszyu on pay-per-view. But
that was a little bar action right there. Bars for free.
If you knew. But anyways, I don't think. Yeah, you got it. I don't think this should be pay-per-view. Like, Amazon Prime already does one fighting. Okay, they already do MMA and Muay Thai on their platform. So you can. They do that on Friday night sometimes. I was out there one time in Singapore, but I had stayed because they tried to cane me one time because I was messing with somebody. But that's another story. But so I think this is what I don't understand with Amazon. They're putting these fights that are not worthy, and that's the same problem PBC was doing with Showtime. You're losing money because who wants to buy Ortiz versus Ruiz? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to? Why would that be for $40? Right. That should
I don't
be
want to pay $40 for that.
Wednesday night on Showtime. Like, that should not be, not even on Saturday night. Like, so they're putting all these fighters, and the co-main events, Pitbull against Rolly Ramirez. That's not a pay-per-view fight. Like, these fights, you're putting a trash card together, and that should not be your first fight. It should be Gervonta Davis against Frank the Ghost Martin. That should be your first one if you want to get people to watch. But I already see them starting off with the wrong foot. And I think Amazon is showing the fight, but I think Al Heyman's putting the money up. So I'm going to kind of see how this goes. But yeah, I don't think Amazon's putting the money up for these fights. I think they're just being you can show the fight on our platform because Al Heyman's he's burned Fox back in the day. He burned MSNBC or NBC Sports. The PBC was on there, kind of burnt them a little bit. Then he moved to Showtime. No, I think he was on Showtime. So he's bounced around a couple different networks where they're like, dude, you're put on these fights, you're taking the money, you're not for nothing. Like, no, there's no good fights. So I'm not sure how this is going to go moving forward. But yeah, they had a press conference. It wasn't that great. You got Rolly Ramirez looking just clueless and dusty. I think he's still cloudy headed from
Romero.
He's just I can't with him. But he's
now, yeah, I was going to say they're in the undercard, right? In the co-main, right?
They're in the co-main event, and then
Rolly Romero defending his WBA junior welterweight title versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah, that is correct. He's fighting Pitbull Cruz. Cruz, we all know Cruz is the one who lost to Tank Davis, but they went to distance. So when Tank broke his right hand, and he still got the belt. I mean, I'm sorry, he still got the win. But I mean, Pitbull.
So let me ask a follow-up, because you say that that Keith Thurman is a sacrificial lamb for Tim Tszyu. Now, obviously, he hasn't fought very much. Thurman has not fought since February 2022 when he outpointed Mario Barrios. And even that was his first action since July 2019 when he dropped a split decision to Manny Pacquiao, who has not fought since then. So those were his last two fights. So I see why you're saying he is a sacrificial lamb. And yes, Tim Tszyu is a 1,000 favorite at ESPN Bet. But does Thurman have a tiny bit of a chance?
No.
Okay.
No.
He said no. He just said no.
Tim Tszyu he is no joke, okay? He's all business, okay? And Thurman's moving up. This is Tim Tszyu's weight class. So you're getting a person who's been inactive for 2 years moving up. Look at Charlo against Canelo when he moved up 2 divisions. No, 3 divisions. Oh, it's a 2?
Yep.
No, 2 divisions. 2 divisions.
2 divisions. Yeah.
Going up to fight Canelo. You saw what happened. He had track shoes on, okay? I thought he was wearing either Brooks or Asics. He was moving back so fast. I thought it was Deion Sanders backpedaling. So no, Tim Tszyu's gonna whoop that ass.
Shout out Prime. We love you here at Ball and Butts.
My namesake. Take the I out your name. We don't do that. Us Deons don't do that.
I mean, well, I guess.
For women.
All right, I wasn't going to go there, but all right, let's move on to our next question. This comes from the Sweat Science Sorcerer. I like the alliteration there on your username, fella. This guy comes from Cardio City, Japan, aka Tokyo. So I don't know why that's called Cardio City. If you could let me know, Sweat Science Sorcerer, Clever D, and I would love to know why it's called Cardio City.
I don't know part of Sweat Science. It's all you.
I mean, the only Sweat Science I know. Let me stop right now before I get us canceled. Herders. AGG all day. Anyway, sorry. Sweat Science Sorcerer asks, Tank Davis's coach recently came out and said that he only wants to put them in there with people that he can knock out. What is next for him, and will he fight a top fighter anytime soon? I would also like to caveat on this question to help out a little bit, Sweat Science Sorcerer. Say that 15 times fast. Haney and Stevenson, who we just talked about earlier, right? They were who he was asked about when the coach said this. So can you elaborate more on this, obviously coming out?
Tank is basically doing a Canelo route when you don't want to. People say the same thing. Excuse me. He called Shakur Stevenson a runner when they were going to fight, and he chose not to fight him. They don't like to fight. Apparently, they're trying to hide Tank from elusive fighters that are good off their back foot, move side to side, use good angles, and can purely box. there's a certain type of fighter they want Tank to fight. That's somebody who comes straight for them. You know what I'm saying? That's why he fights a lot of Mexicans, because the Mexican fighting style is coming right at you. You know, whoa, that is crazy. So a lot of like Pitbull, he likes to charge towards his opponents. How about that? You know, and if you do that, you know, you're not moving side to side, not using angles, your set will get knocked out. And it looks like Tank likes to fight only fighters like that. Okay. That's not I was joking around, but that's for real. He's only fought 3 black fighters. He got a chance to fight Tevin Farmer back in the day, and I've been like versus Baltimore, a little battle there. He told Tevin Farmer at the fight at I think it was the Gary Russell fight, which I was at MGM here in Maryland. They almost got into it, and he said, "Hey, get a belt and come see me." Tevin Farmer got the belt, and then he saw him at the next fight. He said, "Hey, I got the belt. What's up?" And Tank just walked away. So he had chances. Of Gary Russell has called him out forever. Mayweather had to tell Gary Russell to stop calling him out, leave him alone. So there's fighters that have been trying to get at him, but they've been holding off on certain type of fighters. They want him to fight, you know, these fighters that will stand in front of him. He can get a flashy highlight knockout off of. Cool, I respect that, but I can't put you up here if all the top fighters are the ones you're avoiding. You know, when Devin Haney put on that show against Regis Rougarou Prograis, it was, oh, well, he came in a fight weighing X, Y, and Z. I can't fight him. Who does that? Like, who?
Right.
Who makes it? Like, where's that come from? You fight Ryan Garcia. You bring him down to 135, a catch weight, knowing he can't make that weight no more. And then you put a 10-8 hydration clause. What?
Sure did.
Come on, man. It's like, you need a hydration clause for Ryan Garcia. That tells me all I need to know about you as a fighter. That's it.
Woo! You know? That's a good point. That is a very good point.
Shut up.
And this harkens back to earlier that you were talking about Crawford and the Spence fight, and it actually brought up a follow-up question that I didn't even realize. I don't even know why I didn't ask this earlier when you were talking about this, because it was right in my face. But when the IBF stripped Crawford of his belt because he didn't, because he had the mandatory against Spence, they gave that belt to Jaron Boots Ennis, who now holds that belt. So do we now, and again, I should have asked this earlier, do we now see that fight matriculate this year?
Probably not. Boots had 2 times to fight Crawford in the past. Chose not to fight him. It's been proven. And Bud's at the point where he's deserved to get these money fights. Okay. He's already said he would fight Canelo, which is stupid. But that's a lot of money if he fights Canelo. I'm not going to knock him for winning that fight. Me as a boxing fan, I know what's going to happen, and Canelo will allow it to go maybe 5 rounds. And I don't want to see him go out like that, but he's going to go out if he fights Canelo bad. Canelo is way too big of a fighter for him, way too big, and it just wouldn't be fair. But but he's at the point where he doesn't need to fight up-and-comer. Now, if the up-and-comer is already established, yes, he can do that, but he doesn't need to fight. You know what I'm saying? Somebody. Like a Jaron Boots Ennis just yet. Bud's like, what, 35, 36 years old? He's up there.
Yeah, he's like 36. Yeah.
So he's only got maybe 2 or 3 years left, if that. And he likes to stay active. So this Spence fight holding him up is messing his normal flow of fighting. Spence likes to take these long breaks, but Bud he's old school. He likes to stay active. So I don't like, for them stripping him, I understand that, but I'll dabble into that again when we talk about another fighter who I just mentioned, about how the corruption is for some fighters, but not for all fighters, when it comes to this stripping fighters of their belts, because some fighters do need to get stripped, especially ones that are named Canelo Alvarez.
Go ahead and elaborate, my friend, please.
Well, you got Canelo, you got David Morrell, who's a WBA regular champion, and you got David Benavidez, the WBC interim champion. These guys have been waiting to fight Canelo for about, I think, Morrell since 2019,
Wow.
And 2020 or 2019, either way, it's been years. And Benavidez for the last 3 years waiting to fight Canelo. So my problem with this is why hasn't WBC, why hasn't WBA ordered those fights?
Right.
There is a reason. Like, why haven't they ordered those fights? You had Canelo fight John Ryder, who's I think was a WBO mandatory or something like that. You had him fight him. Okay, he's a bum. What was the point of that? You let Charlo move up 3 weight classes or 2 weight classes to fight Canelo and have these guys wait, and this guy hasn't fought in like over a year. So why does that happen? Okay. He fought Triple G when nobody wanted to see that fight. That was 4 years past his prime. You let that fight happen while these guys are waiting. So why are they letting these things happen? But Canelo can just do whatever he wants to do. This is called boxing, not Canelo. So he doesn't run the sport. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to fight. You got to get your belt. So that's the stuff that pisses me off. You want to strip Bud of his belt, but you don't want to do that to Canelo.
Get him.
Okay.
Get
him. Come on, man. It's called spade to spade. You fight a small guy. You fight all these dudes moving up in weight that aren't your weight class. You move up to Bival's weight. He whoops that ass. And then you bring him in the fight. No, man. No, get out of here. Yeah, he fought Bival also. Moved up. And everyone had to wait. So what? Who do you think you are? So these guys have to wait and you just do whatever. No. Strip him of the belts. He got to go. Take the belts
Who
away.
do you think you are? I am.
And he is going to duck them all and fight somebody like Charlo's brother who just fought, or he's going to fight Munguia on my birthday, May 4th, which is bullshit.
Well, I don't want you to get into that because there is actually a question here about Munguia that we'll go ahead and ask that now. I had that for a couple, but since you just mentioned them, let me go ahead and ask this question now. This comes from Cape Town Thunderfist. That is an amazing screen name, username, my friend. From Cape Town, South Africa. Shout out. We are big in South Africa. We love all of you down there. But they asked.
Champion.
Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah. Shout out to DDP who won against Sean Strickland in UFC 297 to take the belt and the first for him. So anyways, the question here is asked about Munguia. Jaime Munguia is his name. And he says, Jaime Munguia, or she, I don't know who this is, Jaime Munguia and his performance against John Ryder. Can you please talk more about that? And also, and this ties into what you were just talking about, will Canelo end up fighting Munguia?
Jaime Munguia is interesting. He's like kind of like because I think Virgil Ortiz is from Dallas, but he's Mexican American. Jaime Munguia is from Mexico, and both of them are under Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, kind of like Canelo when he came up. Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya was his promoter. So Jaime Munguia, he's 27 years old. He's 40-0 with 34 knockouts.
Woo, right? 43-0, isn't he?
43-0, yeah. That's it, right? Did I say it? Yeah.
I thought you said 40, but maybe you did.
Well, regardless, he's 43-0 with 34 knockouts. Boom, bam. So they've molded him. They brought him up the way you do certain fighters. Get him against a puncher, get him against somebody elusive. Let's see how he is in different avenues. So he's a beast, and he was the 160-pound WBO champion. Okay, he was supposed to fight Charlo for the WBC belt, but of course, Showtime PBC didn't want to play nice with his own, and that fight fell through. But he was down to fight him. You know what I'm saying? My problem with him was when Demetrius Andrade had the WBA belt at 160 and they're both under the zone, that fight never happened. They said they weren't ready for Andrade. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But that's probably smart because Andrade probably would have got him. Now, he's moved up. I think it's his second or third fight at 168. So he went from 160 to 168. Rick
second fight.
Yeah, sacrifice took his belt away, and I think Jedovic has him. He has 2 belts now, 160. But he's at 168, and he fought the guy Canelo fought last I think it was 2 years ago. He fought John Ryder, who was Canelo's mandatory. Canelo will fight these Johnny McDittons from Great Britain, but he won't fight anybody else.
McDittons.
So he fights him, and Munguia beats that ass. Okay, he knocked him down 4 or 5 times. I think it's 4 or 5 times in that fight. He whooped his tail. Canelo, it went all the way. Canelo knocked him down once, but it went all the way. That was his fight in Mexico. This fight was in Phoenix, sold out crowd. He has a good following in America in certain places. So since he knocked him out in the 9th round, they're saying now that Munguia is one of the potential opponents for Canelo on May 4th. Okay. Again, I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this because Canelo's fighting another fighter that's really brand new to the division when you got your mandatories already waiting. With that being Morrell and freaking Benavidez. Also,
I mean, can we please get that fight? Jeez Louise.
Well, here's the kicker. Before I name the other person he's supposed to fight, that it's either these two, or Crawford's the wild card. Crawford might be in September because he likes to fight Mexican Day Independence, which is September 18th, I believe, around that time. He likes to fight around that time. They're saying that those might be it, but my problem with that is when he fought John Ryder, he said that I do not want to fight another Mexican. That was his saying. He said that, and that's why Benavidez was like, well, I'm half Ecuadorian, fight my Ecuadorian side. It was like a running joke. Jaime Munguia is 1,000% Mexican from Mexico, barely speaks English. So if you pick him,
that makes you look like a big hypocrite.
Yeah, like
and makes you look scared. Makes you look shook like shit, actually.
Big time.
And so why is he running so much from Benavidez? I mean, does Canelo think that, I mean, obviously Canelo must think that Benavidez has a very good chance since he's been ducking him for years now.
The problem with Benavidez is that he's getting better. The fight against Andrade, he used, instead of just charging straight at him.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah,
Reckless.
Instead of pressuring his opponent like he calls the Mexican monster, he used good footwork. He cut the ring off. Okay, he looked very good against Andrade. Very good, very scary. And the problem with that is he's a bigger guy than Bivol is when Bivol fought Canelo at light heavyweight. Okay. Benavidez, he's like my height. He's 6'2", and Canelo's like 5'8". You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do with somebody 6'2" coming at you with power, you know what I'm saying, that uses footwork? You can't just hang on the ropes like you did Bivol. Bivol was scared of Canelo's power. He just outboxed him. Benavidez ain't going to do that. He can try to take his head off. Canelo's got to do something to crack him to back him up, and nobody's been able to do that. Nobody. And he's young. He's only like 26, 27, 28. He's a young dude. So I think it's a size thing. And if he does fight him, he's going to drain the hell out of him. He's going to be like, hey, no, I want you.
Reckless.
That's not bad. You got a 5 hydration clause. He can do something. He's gonna make it so Benavidez is going through hell for that to make that weight and stay at that weight for the next day. Because Canelo, it has to be his physical attributes is why he does not want that fight. I want to say that.
It's like he's running like it's a damn track meet out here. He's running so far from this guy. It's like, man.
Just do the Riddick Bowe versus Lennox Lewis. Put the belts in the trash can if you don't want to fight him. Do that.
Right. Something. Jeez Louise. Now, I want to follow up, though, because Jose has said he wants to beat all of Canelo's potential opponents, and he's going to go on a barnstorming tour through all of them. So I think that only adds to the intrigue.
That's the only my problem is that he's not ducking, but he's avoiding Morrell because they've been beefing, but he doesn't want to fight him. He wants to fight everybody that Canelo wants to fight, and they've been ducking him. He wanted to fight Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia said, "Oh no, I don't want to fight you." You know what I'm saying? I'll fight John Ryder because he didn't want that work. So Morrell's thing is now I'm going to fight everybody that you want to fight. So therefore, you have no choice but to fight me. And the problem with that is a lot of these guys are just doing a duck move, just not going to fight him. Now I'm saying right now, Canelo for his next fight, it's either going to be Munguia or Charlo. Okay, the wild card is Terrence Crawford. Those are the 3 it's going to be. You heard it here first. You can hear second, but here's the first time you heard it. Now brush your teeth.
And all right, so I have a follow-up to that because today I was reading about Tim Bradley had an interview that he did about that potential matchup. And he said that he believes that even though obviously Canelo would have the upper hand and be the favorite, that he believes because of Crawford's experience and boxing skills that he at least would stand a chance inside the ring against Canelo. Do you agree with Mr. You don't agree with Mr. Bradley at all? Wow. Okay.
No. Okay. Bud fights at 147. 147.
That's 21 pounds.
Canelo fights at 168.
21.
What do you think Canelo's going to come in? Well, okay, for example, Amir Khan fought Canelo at 54, whatever.
Yeah, that's
Khan moved up. He said Canelo weighed as much as a damn cruiserweight that fight. And Khan's a small guy.
Wow.
You cannot take that power from you can't. There's a reason why Floyd didn't fight Roy Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because Bud's like, whoa, look at Charlo. Charlo is a bigger dude than Bud is. He's bigger frame, bigger everything. And he was running for his life against Canelo. And he's heavier than he fights at 154, not 147. So what on earth do you think he's gonna do to Bud? I get what he's saying. Like, Bud's gonna go in there, Bud's gonna fight him. Like, he's gonna bring the fight to him. But when that doesn't work, then what?
Yeah.
You're just gonna go out in the shield. I just don't see only way I give Bud a chance. I need to see Bud fight at least 2 fights.
154 first.
154 first, go to 160. I need to see him put the weight on the correct way.
Some warm-up bouts, right.
Exactly. See, can he take a punch from a middleweight or super middleweight? You know what I'm saying? You can't just jump up like that out of nowhere. I'm sorry, it does not work like that. All right? Okay. It's physics, it's boxing.
No, I got you. I just know that, obviously he's a very respected voice in the boxing community, and he's obvious. I mean, Tim Bradley's one of the best analysts. But
Lomachenko's junk when they Shakur, so he can shut up.
Okay. Well, speaking of Lomachenko, that's funny that you mentioned Lomachenko because we have a mailbag question about Lomachenko as well. So I might as well go into that one that I was going to ask here in a little bit. So this comes from the Munich Mauler, excuse me. I don't know why I don't know how to read. The Munich Mauler from Munich, Germany. Shout out, yo. That's awesome. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany. So shout out. Is it Jason? Jason, is that you? Are you coming in as the Munich Mauler? This person, yeah. My dad. Shout out. Shout out Army Space. Oh, shout out Lil Shane. Miss you, my bro. I know. I'm agreeing with you. Anyway, so the question is, Lomachenko has just been signed to fight Kambosos and George Kambosos. What are your thoughts on this fight, and who do you foresee as the early winner of this bout?
Well, this fight's gonna be in Australia. I'm a little under the weather, people. I'm sorry, I'm not as live as I usually am. Dealing with sinus issues, so thank God for very old Barton for helping me back to where I need to be. Okay, Barton. But anyways, shameless plug. Shameless
plug in the Bartons.
But this
love a good bourbon.
I
should have brought mine down.
Say what?
I said I love bourbon too. I should have brought some down. I'll have to have a glass when I go upstairs before.
This is a little something. But so I forget which belt this is for. Maybe for a WBO belt. It's one of the belts that Devin Haney Rickledge. I cannot say that word.
I will get that for information for you right now.
I don't know. Whatever it is. I'm tripping right now. Too much Barton. But so it's one of the belts that Devin Haney let go of at 135. And this goes to the point of Shakur Stevenson getting mad because he got one of the belts and he can't get a fight. Which then again, they're going to sign Kambosos versus Lomachenko.
It is for the vacant IBF World Lightweight title.
IBF,
why is it always IBF that's always taking the belts away? Do they have something like a stick up their ass or some shit?
Right there, the red belt.
Fuck, okay, man.
DeBella. I think that the promoter is the DeBella. So it's each promoter has different set of rules for their belts. Okay, so
come on, man. This is
that's why boxing.
That's so whack, dude.
That's the problem with boxing. So if I'm top rank, they might say, "Okay, WBC, I'm gonna rock with you." Okay, I'm PBC. Okay, WBA, I'm gonna rock with you. So each promoter wants a belt.
Like, because, like you said, Ennis is a good fighter, but don't tell me Crawford isn't the champion just because you took one of his belts away. Like, that's not going to make me think he's any less of the 147 undisputed champion because you decided to take a belt away. Like, that doesn't, what?
Like, what's his name? Yang, the heavyweight, he's fighting against Joseph Parker for the interim IBF or whatever. So once the heavyweight Fury and Usyk, they're going to strip one of them from that belt. It's the way boxing is with these belts, okay?
IBF, DiBella, get your shit together because that's ridiculous. That's just.
I'm kind of pissed at my picture because it doesn't have the WBO. It has the IBO. No one cares about this belt over here or over there. That belt, it should be the black belt, the WBA. Okay?
Hey, you got to update your background.
Huh?
No, I said you go ahead to update your background.
I did on a rush. Okay, this should be the WBA, which is the black belt. That's the IBF, the red belt. WBC, that's the green one.
I love the green one. That's my favorite.
WBO right there. Now, damn it. The Rocky belt, the red, white, and blue, that's the lineal. That's the Ring Magazine champion, okay? That is for like the best at that division. All right? So, all you boxing fans, that's the belts for you, okay? That one should be WBA, the black one. But that's
you know what? I really appreciate that because even as a boxing fan, I just never realized that the colors were associated with. I just thought it was just always random and the boxers picked. I thought it was like when the Ultimate Warrior would come out with like the custom purple belt and they just like made it for him. That's what I thought this whole time.
Yeah,
That's true,
each
man.
belt has their own sanctioning body and they get money from the champions in each belt, each bout they have with the champion. The WBC is ran by Suleiman and they're based in Puerto Rico. So they're the ones who made up the whole franchise champion when Lomachenko signed on the paperwork to duck Devin Haney the first time, just like Canelo ducked Charlo the first time, and they made a franchise.
Anyways,
some of these belts have like a super, like the WBA has a regular champion, which is basically you're the champion in waiting to fight the other champion. And Tank has been that for years, but doesn't want to exercise that clause, or they don't want to force him to exercise that clause. WBC, the green one, right here.
my favorite.
David Benavidez has been the interim champion for the last 2 years, waiting to fight Canelo. But they don't exercise that clause to make him fight him. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If you want, I'll do a short on the belts and break it down if you want me to. I'll do a short. You know,
I would love that, and I think the fans would also like some shorts on your top 5 boxers too at some point.
Yeah, I do a top 5 Mexican boxers pretty soon. And also, if you guys haven't seen my golf swing, almost 3,000 people have seen it on our shorts.
That's crazy.
Check it out. It's freaking hilarious.
That's crazy that we got that many views on that short. That's awesome. Y'all do check that out. Hey, it's a great time to plug us at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. You can find us on YouTube. Please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tons of videos. There's actually 200 videos up there because I just uploaded the 200th video. So plus we go live at least twice a week with the Bottom Line Sports, and then you have Clubber D and yours truly here on your Combat Sports specials as well, which also gives me another chance to plug our next Combat Sports special. So we will be back in 2 weeks for UFC 298, and this is going to be Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria in what was it was originally scheduled a few months ago but got delayed due to an injury, but what we expect to be a pretty awesome main event there. That is going to be in Anaheim, California on Saturday, February the 17th. The co-main is Whitaker versus Costa, Paulo Costa versus Robert Whitaker. So we'll be back for that day, and so we'll be going, 6 Eastern, right? Like our normal time?
What's the actual date on that?
That's the Saturday, February the 17th.
So, okay, so that Saturday is going to be the date of Usyk versus Fury, and that's probably overseas. So we might have to do it on a Thursday or Friday.
Okay, that's it. That's exactly why I wanted to ask. All right, so look out for us. We're gonna probably just do it on a Thursday. Make it easy.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from now, y'all, that's gonna be on the 15th of February. You're gonna catch us here, same like tonight. Right, 8 p.m. Eastern on the 15th of February. Make sure you put that on your calendars. Tap in with us for UFC 298. And as was just mentioned, the huge heavyweight battle. Fusick. Wow. I just made them like a Taylor Swift Travis Kelce combo there.
Right.
That was for the algorithm, by the way. Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk in Saudi Arabia, which also gives me a chance to bring up another thing that we will be talking about that day, because we have a mailbag question that coincides, perfectly with this. PFL versus Bellator, Professional Fighters League versus Bellator, will be on February 24th, that weekend after. So we'll also be talking about that. So it's going to be a super stacked show here in 2 weeks, y'all, that we're going to be talking. But that being said, we do have a question here from the Submission Magician. You stole that there. That's what's her name from WWE? Shayna Baszler uses that name. So I'm gonna have to give you some copyright infringement there, user. I don't know who you are. You're
amazing too.
Shout out to Shayna Baszler. We love Shayna Baszler. And this guy is shouting it. Wow, from Armbar Acres, Russia. I like that. From Armbar Acres, Russia, the Submission Magician, and they are asking, what are your thoughts on the recently breaking news that Professional Fighters League saved, because Bellator needed to be acquired Bellator, all of their fighters, and now setting up a super card. Can you tell us about this all development?
I love it. They are doing basically what I do not know the gentleman's name, the main person, Saudi Arabia, Turkish is something, but he had an interview on the Zone talking about he wants the best fighters fighting, and he's talking about across all planes. You know what I'm saying? So I love what he's doing. He's asked Golden Boy to get his best five to go against Eddie Hearn's Matchroom's best five.
I got you here. Hold on 1 second. Saudi Arabia's sports minister is Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal. Hope I got that right, sir.
I'm gonna call him Big Ak. So
Big Ak.
Basically, hey, that's uncle. He's uncle over there. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to. I love what they're doing, and also what people don't know. This is a nugget, Omar. I'm gonna let you know that. Yes. Saudi Arabia just lifted their alcohol ban that was in effect for the last 80 years.
Wow.
Muslims drink alcohol. So
that's huge.
They lifted that ban to have alcohol. I have friends that live in Abu Dhabi, and it's not too far from Dubai. You know what I'm saying? They live out there. They usually tell me during Ramadan, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the shades are down for restaurants, and the Americans and the Europeans that live there or visit. It's the time to visit is Ramadan, because not a lot of people are out, but they're letting people drink there that are non-Muslims. So that's a big way to say, hey, all these big fights that are already happening right now over there, it's helping them out, because he wants the big fights. Okay, Ngannou versus Francis. I'm sorry, Ngannou versus Francis. Ngannou versus Joshua. France, that's over there. Okay,
Ngannou versus Francis. I just got that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Omar verse 1 second.
Right.
So fights over there like Peach versus Shane, those are gonna be over there. Let me stop. All right, but a lot of big fights are gonna be over there. He wants to bring Tank over there. He wants to bring Haney's more than willing to go there. They're Muslim anyway, so they want to go over there. And he's been there to watch fights. You got newly signed Quentin Rampage Jackson against Shannon the Cannon Briggs. That's going to be there on June 1st. And I will be there because I got a couple of Habibis out there that want to see me. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, let's go.
They were like, hey, get something to eat. But I said, I can't. It's Ramadan. They want me to do. Anyways, but
I got you.
These nuts. Got him.
So he wants all the big fights, and he has the money to put on these big fights. So he's an old school boxing purist, and he wants nothing but put on good fights. In Vegas, you're in trouble, okay? Because while we're dilly-dallying, twiddling our thumbs here in America, over there, they're saying, come fight. We got the money. Come fight for us. So they're willing to put on the fights that we want to see. So these promoters, which like Golden Boy, Matchroom, I think it's Queensberry. I think that's the other one that's in London, but I could be wrong. But yeah, those three are already online for doing this. And that big fight, that PFL first Bellator, we got Clarissa Shields, the best female, the best female boxer, one of the best female boxers.
She making her debut?
She's been fought. This is like her third fight.
Oh.
Yeah. She's fighting though, but she's on like the undercard. I don't think she's on the main.
Oh, you know what? No, I did. I watched her get beat the first fight.
That's right. Yeah. Her only loss ever in professional was MMA, her second fight. So
I watched that.
She's fighting there. So they're bringing the fights out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are.
And I love it.
Yeah.
You know, women's fighting. Michaela Mayer, she just fought recently in England, and they had a sellout crowd. So even though she lost, I forgot the young lady's name she lost to, but overseas they support and love female fighting, which we should here in America. You know, so it's not the age of, I'm just going to do my tangent of female fighting again. This is not the age of, oh, it's a girl. Oh, look at her fight. No, these girls can fight. They're better than some guys. And these girls like to scrap. They want to scrap. These men bring excuses not to scrap. So I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? Omar disappeared, but that's all right. I'm still here though. But yeah, so the thing what I'm trying to say is that overseas, in Saudi Arabia, he's trying to put on the best in big fights, okay? He's asked Gervonta Davis to come over and fight in Saudi Arabia. So, Gervonta Davis was like, man, they got to give me 2 Ferraris. Well, they give him 2 Ferraris. Let's go. Like, why not? Like, you're called a world champion, not a USA champion. Right. So fight all over the world.
I mean, it makes... Look, I am not going to be one of those holier than thou, mightier than the, whatever. No, I'm not going to be the one to do it. I have always been on the side of the LIV golf. I've always been on the side of WWE and whoever chooses to go to Saudi Arabia to make money, because I'm sick and tired of these so-called pundits and people that want to be all holier than thou, and I wouldn't take the Saudi money and man, shut up. Every company you use is invested with Saudi money. Uber invested with Saudi money. Disney invested with Saudi money. McDonald's invested with so shut the fuck up. Get out of here with that bullshit. Take that somewhere else and give me as much money as you can, Saudi, because I'm taking it. I know that.
I already told them I'll go over there. If they want me to be the live golf sportscaster, I'll go. If they want me, what's that Space Cowboys, wherever that freaking baseball league with Bartolo Colon and all the rest of those guys.
Wait, what? League. The what?
You never heard of that?
No.
Oh my God! Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What?
If you Google the Saudi baseball league over there with Bartolo Colon, a lot of other old, Puerto Rican's finest.
I love Bartolo. That's my man. Hold on.
Kung Fu Panda from the Giants. He's over there.
Oh yeah, Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they have their own league over there. They're trying to get people to come over there. I've been over to Bahrain, and it's hot.
Baseball United. You're right.
There you go.
Look at this.
I told you.
I didn't even hear about this. They got Robinson Cano. They got Bartolo Colon. Okay.
Robinson Cano was there. He's the one who walked with Martin Luther King down through Birmingham. He's that old. Okay. I don't care what they say. Robinson Cano is old as dirt. All right. He's old. Okay.
Nah.
Him how to slide.
No,
I'm telling you that right now. That man is old.
No.
He's Cuban Dominican. He's he's old. And look. You look young. He came in the league with an AARP card. Put it out right there. Right? Shout out to Robinson. I'm just saying. Your first name is Robinson. Your first name is the last name, so you know you're old there. Okay? Whenever your first name is the last name, you know you're old. Okay? Let's be clear.
I can't stop laughing. He said he walked with Martin Luther King.
He did. He was there. Look. He was still a basis in church shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was killing it. Like, Robinson Cano, he came in the league. You know, come on, man. It's like Alfonso Soriano. It's another one that's old. It was old as dirt when he came in the league.
I'm so
You know, Alfonso Soriano came in, he was 48 years old. We're like, well, damn, he's not that old.
He looked like a Negro Leafs player before he came in.
Yeah. He told Josh Gibson how to do the swing. You know, so he helped him out. He told Satchel Paige, "Hey, do the curveball. Don't do the sinker. Do the curve." You know,
that's a great call out, Satchel Paige. What a good call.
Shout out Negro League. Hey, shout out to the African American Museum in Nashville. It's freaking amazing. If you guys are ever there, it's awesome. Me and Omar went.
NAM, we call it. The National Museum of African American Music, the NAM. It is an amazing museum. Make sure you go check that out. Very interactive as well. Got a lot of activities in there. You can be a rapper. You can be a DJ. You can play some old folk music. It's pretty cool. Actually, I've been twice because I went with your brother. I took your brother when he came to visit. All right. Let's get into our last question. I did have a fun question from me about OT Elite Boxing. And we're not going to end with that one. We're going to end with the serious topic that we said we would with WWF and all that. But I just wanted real quick to ask what your thoughts are on this. So OT Elite has been putting on basketball tournaments, and this is for the younger generation, the younger crowd, trying to get kids into sports more. Because even their basketball teams are, they're like the whatever, they got all these weird names that they have for the teams. And anyway, so Overtime Elite Boxing, now they're trying to bring boxing into the Overtime Elite family, which again is running all this. So what are your thoughts on this, just real quick before we go to the last topic?
I actually like it because it's bringing awareness to the sport. Now, not everybody was growing up a boxing nerd like me, but I remember one of my favorite USA boxing classes who won gold was David Reed. He had the eye condition. Along with him was Fernando Vargas and Floyd Mayweather. Okay, they all won gold that year. And then they had pretty good, Fernando Vargas and Floyd had great pro careers. David Reed had a great pro career, even though he lost to Felix Trinidad, but, he still knocked him down. Shout out to Bajo. Exactly. That's another. My top Puerto Rican fighters are on my list. But
Boricua, wepa.
Yeah, hit somebody upside the head with a mofongo. But anyways, so the thing is that young kids don't really know any boxers nowadays, besides like Canelo, like the big ones, Ryan Garcia, social media, things of that nature. So I like the OTE boxing thing. I'm actually a fan of it. I mean, I don't watch it per se, but I'm a fan that they're doing it. It's just like Jake Paul is trying to get American fighters or Americans to pay attention to boxing again. He's trying to get the Olympic team. So because there's the local cat. He's from Alexandria, Troy Isley, I believe his name is. He was a bronze medalist. Yeah, bronze medalist at the recent Olympics a couple years ago. He's doing his thing on Top Rank. But other than that, we don't really follow these guys coming up in the sport, becoming Olympic gold medalists, and then going to the next level as being professionals. And you got to understand, the Olympics, they're not wearing headgear anymore, so you won't get no cheating like when Roy Jones Jr. was cheated in Korea when he got second place when he should have got first place. So there's no headgear. These guys are getting knocked out in these fights. In these boxing fights. So there's action all the time, because back in the day it was like, I'm not watching Olympics, they got headgear on. It's more seeing who can outpoint somebody. Now it's you can outpoint somebody and knock them out. You know what I'm saying? So I think this OTE is going to bring a lot more. I feel like OTE is trying to copy or be similar to Misfits, which is KSI's thing over in London.
Got it.
Because a lot of those streamers and people like that, they're tuning in to watch those fights. So they're trying to tell the youth, hey, let's start boxing. That way we could be the powerhouse in boxing into the Olympics. So if you get the kids to watch it at an early age, they might choose to box instead of playing football, playing basketball, things of that nature.
Right.
I feel like it's kind of like they're trying to mimic what they're doing, because in Cuba, their sports are a little different in Cuba. I think it was the fighter he's killing right now. It's a fighter. He's old, but he fights. He looks young. It'll come to me later. But he was saying, there's different tiers in Cuba to fight, and you got proud Cuban fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux, and they will tell you, huh?
Ugas?
Yeah, no, he's another fighter, but it's an MMA fighter. It's MMA. Okay. He fought Robert Whittaker 3 times, and he fought Izzy. It's bugging my name.
Go ahead.
But anyways, so he said that on Joe Rogan interview that if you're fighting, if you're wrestling, there's tiers to this as a child. And if you're good, you're at the top tier where you get fed better food. If you're not that good, you get fed not as good food. So there's different tiers, and they're taught this at a young age. Same with boxing. Any sport in Cuba, if you're not that good, you're here and you get treated like that. So you want to fight to get to this level and maybe, hey, have a better dinner at night or provide for your family. So they're taught differently. And that's why they're so good at certain sports. And, they hate on certain Cuban fighters when they come over. They don't want to fight them because Andrew Ruiz, if you guys want to look at somebody, look at Andrew Ruiz. He's a young Cuban fighter at 130. He's freaking amazing.
Yoel Romero?
Huh?
Yoel Romero?
Yoel Romero, that's him right there. His interview on Joe Rogan, he talks about that. Like, there's levels to it in Cuba, the way they're trained. So in America, you look at inner cities, that's where a lot of the fighters, like Gervonta Tank Davis, he's from Baltimore. So for any of those who have ever been to West Baltimore, a lot of these kids don't have any options. So boxing is it's an outlet to not be in the streets all the time. So a lot of these people in middle of America play football, playing basketball, is what it is. Not everybody's going to boxing. Bud Crawford's from Nebraska. There's not much to do out there, you know what I'm saying? He was the illest from Nebraska. Besides Method Man, he chose boxing. Right. So it's not, there's going to be a special pretty soon coming from Shannon Briggs and other fighters from Brownsville, New York, that produce a lot of boxers like Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, Shannon Briggs. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys, Danny Jacobs came from Brownsville, like MOP, never ran, never will. That's the motto. But they had a gym there.
Yap fools.
If y'all don't know, now you know. So OTE, what they're doing is they're bringing attention for all these young kids that don't. There could be Scott from Scott from Sacramento, California.
Why
Scott? Don't be worried about boxing. Oh, that guy boxes? That's pretty cool. I might want to try it. There could be Bart from South Dakota.
Not a Bart from South Dakota.
Bart from South hanging out with freaking Eskimos and killing elk. That's
Bart.
They could be killing elk, Eskimos. You know what I'm saying? There could be Tyrone from East Little Rock, you know what I'm saying? He could be like, oh, snap. He boxes on OTE? Let me do it. So you want to bring the people that aren't used to watching boxing and don't even think about boxing into the sport. Okay? That's what you need to do.
What are those people? Anyways, all right. Well, I agree. I agree with you. I think it's obviously just that stuff's for the kids again, for the younger people, the streamers, that generation. I'll tune in every once in a while to one of those Overtime Elite games if I happen to be on Amazon and I see it's on. I'll tune in for a couple minutes to watch it, and it's cool. But it's nothing special. But yeah, it gets the kids into it. So all right, well, moving into our last topic of the day, and this one comes from Soul Striker. That's an awesome name. That sounds like an old video game, like an old Nintendo game. Soul Striker. And they're actually from Seoul, South Korea. So we even got people from South Korea tapping in.
I bet it wasn't North.
Yeah, I bet. Thank God for that. We might be in some trouble if it was. So shout out to them, and shout out to everybody in South Korea. We appreciate you tuning in. That being said, thoughts on, or they say, the end of it will be your thoughts, but The Rock was recently appointed as to the board of directors of the new TKO branded company that is a combination of WWE and UFC. Also, WWE recently sold Raw to Netflix to start in 2025 for $5 billion a year. Or by whatever, you know what I mean. What are your thoughts on all of this news that has come out? And also, How does the lawsuit of Vince McMahon affect all of this in your eyes?
First and foremost, if you guys been hanging out with us from day one, or sorry, from start of this stream, or just tapped in, or you were in and out, or whatever, I appreciate you. Okay, thank you for just listen. You know what I'm saying? Checking us out for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I appreciate everybody that tapped in. As long as you tap in for 1 second to 3 seconds to 5 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, I appreciate you.
And before we get into this conversation, I do want to say these are all allegations. Anything we talk about in regards to the Vince McMahon situation is allegations and rumors and lawsuits at these points, but nothing has been doled out or anything has been done in court or anything legal. So we just want you to know that these are all allegations, rumors. Anything we say does not come from any prior knowledge, and nor are we speaking directly on anyone in particular. So just want to put that out there.
So with these allegations I'll start with Vince McMahon, and I listened to Jim Cornette, and they kind of read some of the text messages and how they manipulated this young lady. Sounded like there's reports that she was in her 40s and 30s. Sounded like she was probably in her 20s, and a person of power, kind of I don't want to get too in depth on that, but allegedly, I'm not a fan of any man that does that. Okay. As men, we've all done stuff to women, psychologically, not saying at this level, but we've all have gotten things from women, and women have gotten things from us. Okay. So it's when you cross a line and become a deviant, that is the problem. Okay. There's a difference between saying, oh, let me talk to this girl because I don't have a car and she'll give me a ride and maybe I can do whatever. That's fine. Or a woman saying, "Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me talk to this guy. I can go out to dinner with him. Even though I don't like him, I can get whatever." That's fine, whatever. But when you get to the level of, "Hey, do you want your rent paid? Oh, you do. You got to do this."
Right.
That's where I draw the line. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
I feel like if this is all true for Vince McMahon, right now, if you think about it, with this coming out, R. Kelly and Puffy are like, "Whoo, goddamn, thank you, Jesus." They're like, "Whoo, he's off of me." You talk about me pissing on a bitch, shitting on a girl. Like R. Kelly's like, "What? I should be out. I should be out right now." Okay, I'm not even trying to front. If I was R. Kelly at this point and I heard this about Vince McMahon, I'm saying, "I'm still locked up. Are you kidding me? I'm locked up. Have you seen what he did?" Okay? This dude's shooting out almond joys on girls. That's disgusting.
Almond joys, that.
What is he doing?
Wow.
Okay, allegedly. And then if I'm Puffy, oh my God. Oh, leave me alone. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? You guys just say what you want to say. But if I'm Puffy reading what Vince McMahon allegedly did, oh my goodness. Woo! Heat's on him. You know what I'm saying? Even Kanye, with his rhetoric against Jewish people, is like, whoo, thank you, Vince. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is disgusting what Vince did. And I feel so bad for the young lady. But
horrible.
My problem, and this is all sure what it could have, because she's in that predicament. And from what I'm reading, he took a big psychological hold over her. And the NDL that she signed was for $3 million, apparently, allegedly, and he paid 1.5, but then paid the other 1.5. So this is why all this is coming out. Me and Mr. Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda, no, anything on her, nothing on her. She did what she was supposed to do. But hypothetical, if Oprah did this to me and she put peanuts on my forehead, which is fine, I'll drink her bathwater. If she signed a deal with Netflix, this is 8 digits. This is 9 digits. Ain't no way I'm signing for no pilly 3 mil. Ain't no way. That's just me. Okay, Oprah, I love you. Well, I'm just saying, you do that to me. Oh right. Yeah, you pass me around with Gail, another girl, allegedly. Trust me, I'm getting more than $3 million. But I think it was a psychological stuff that he did to her to make her want to sign that NDA and sign for less money because he did so much to her, and hopefully I want to feel like I honestly feel like I'm in my mind. I'm like, okay, not everything's true. This could be all fake, and it's not to victim shame or make fun of her.
Mm-hmm.
However, if this is true, this is disgusting, and men like this do not deserve to breathe my air. That's just how I feel. They don't deserve to breathe the air that I breathe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to speculate, but just if you do this to another human being, you do not deserve to breathe the air that I breathe because you're not worthy of it, obviously. So, but I feel like them bringing on The Rock, smart, 30 mil a year for The Rock. They took him off the board. Now, Dana White with the UFC, how it's going to affect him, I don't think it will affect him much because Dana White has a very open policy of as long as you don't commit a crime, he doesn't care. You can say whatever you want on the mic. He's not going to censor people. So just look at Sean Strickland. He's saying X, Y, and Z. And I'm not saying I'm not. What up, Flo? Shout out to Flo. It's the man out there. But it's one of those things where I'm not against what they do, but I personally think that UFC is going to say nothing. They're going to kind of act like it never happened. That's Dana White's mantra. You know what I'm saying? So he's not going to say anything and cater to these people, and he's going to shut down any person that's had something to say about Vince McMahon. That's my personal opinion. What Dana White's going to do because they have 2 big pay-per-views coming up pretty soon. So
I mean, no, I was just going to back you up. It would behoove Dana White to completely stay out of all of this and just manage his own business. And I'm not going to rehash everything that I've said about this situation. I talked about this on the Bottom Line the other day. So if you guys want to hear me talk about this whole Vince McMahon situation, I actually posted an individual video about that at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Check that out on YouTube. I just posted that a couple days ago, but I gave my take already on it and how disgusting and deplorable I think it is, and how you said it all. He took a relationship of power and turned it into a relationship of subservience, and you just can't do that. There's no room for slavery these days, and again, these are all allegations. We don't know, but there's no room for sexual assault, whatever the allegations are, sexual trafficking, whatever they have in that lawsuit there, which I read a little bit of it. I couldn't bring myself to read all of it because, as you said, a lot of those things are just just disgusting, deplorable things that you just wouldn't want to, do to anyone else anyways. Like, it's not something I would want to do is what you've been mentioning. Like, it's not just something that doesn't make me feel happy at all. So anyways, if you want to hear me talk about it, go check that out. I just wanted to get Triple D, wow, Clubber D's opinion on that, because also we just need to talk about like the transition. Yeah, it might not affect Dana White, and yeah, bringing in Rock is going to placate this. I mean, obviously Vince had to resign. He's never going to be in the public light again, or at least shouldn't be for his own sake. If he's smart, he would fly to probably another country with that mustache, go live in Spain with the fucking Adams family, old Gomez looking motherfucker. Anyways, so it makes sense they bring in The Rock. He's the face of the board. I mean, he's the face of everything. Everybody loves The Rock.
Well, Flo don't know what happened. He's writing it. I don't think he knows the allegations.
Oh, what up? Oh, we're so happy that you're getting out of there, brother. We hope to see you again soon on the Bottom Line. Right now, we're getting to the end of the show. The last question was about WWE and their recent sale to Netflix and bringing on The Rock, and then also the recent allegations and lawsuit on Vince McMahon. So I gave my take on Bottom Line the other day, but we wanted to get Clubber D's take on that. So that's what we're talking about now, is the Vince McMahon situation and the lawsuit that he has against him for sexual assault and sexual trafficking with a victim, which we're not going to name on this program. You can go read that if you want to, for her safety and everything. We'll just keep her name out of that. But obviously she did not deserve the treatment that she got. So, all right. Well, any other thoughts on that, my brother, or any of that stuff?
Yeah, it's just, I don't, I just don't know. Vince McMahon built when he helped after his dad. You alluded to this on the other show. He basically took the territories away and made wrestling what it is today, as far as a sports entertainment,
entertainment global phenomenon. Shit.
And the thing that wrestling's become a conglomerate, and now that you see that man has torn down the legacy of that with his, just because his name is part of that. It's kind of like if you look at clips of Eddie Guerrero and other wrestlers at that time, they had great matches with Chris Benoit, but they cannot show those anymore. Okay, right. You look at the Attitude Era of WWE, where a lot of fans came in. That's like, you're fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Vince McMahon. So right. You're gonna erase that portion. Also, it's like he did the last 10 years, not so much, but like prior to that, this man decades ran wrestling, and yep. It's hard to read like some of the stuff he did to this young lady, and hearing other people like me and you were there when Hulk Hogan had that scandal. We were down there in Florida.
Yes, we were. Yep.
Sure, and we went to a signing of his, and we got interviewed by that reporter, and he asked
CNN.
Me, yeah, CNN. He was like, "Hey, how do you feel?" Da, da, da. And my thing was this: when people are mad, they say a lot of dumb shit. Okay. Mm-hmm. My thing with Hogan was there was not one black wrestler that came out and said, "Hey, this person," he said, "he treated me like this, he treated me like that."
Right. He's always been a racist or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Like, I've heard stuff about Ric Flair. Teddy Long said stuff about Ric Flair. I've heard stuff about obviously the Captain Redneck, Dick Murdoch. Other wrestlers that I've heard racist stuff from, but for Hogan, every wrestler before and after that scandal happened never said anything. They buried him with other stuff, but on racial stuff, he kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? And when we were backstage with him, when he took the big picture with us and all this other stuff, there was a group that was called Black Honkies, and you remember this? He had to read a promo for them. And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to read this," and he said it out loud. And I was like, "Well, wait a minute, you started up already." And he said, "No, brother, it's not me." Like, remember, I called him out on that. You know what I'm saying? So
it was great.
I call it spade a spade when it comes to certain people and certain things. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's a perfect human, not at all, but
right.
You'll know a racist or somebody who has skeletons in their closet when you see them. I got a ton of skeletons in my closet. Ask your mothers. But anyways, or your ex-wives. But that's another story, neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But for Hogan and both Vince McMahon, like, to hear this about him, it's like I love R. Kelly, but it's like, God, oh man, he's like, thank you, Jesus. It's off me. Leave me alone. Same with Puffy. Leave me alone. We're all Vince now. So
it's it definitely is the end of, and I don't want to say it like it's nostalgic or that we are loving it or anything like that, but it definitely is the end of an era, so to say, because as you mentioned, right, we've started having Vince McMahon as a staple in the wrestling industry. That now with him being out, that totally changes. Now, again, as you mentioned, in the past 10 years, he's had a lot less hands-on. Triple H has been more involved. Stephanie has been involved. Shane has been involved from time to time. And it was his time to go anyways, with TKO now being formed as a combination brand and going publicly traded. So, it's going to work out for all parties involved, and sadly, if the allegations are true, it might even work out for Vince McMahon in that, and just how you mentioned, like, he might escape without jail time at all from this, which if things that he did are said to be true, those are things that definitely deserve jail time if the allegations are true. So we'll see what comes out of this. We'll have more updates on this throughout our next show. Again, we're going to start coming to you a little more often. People have been requesting the combat sports duo of Clubber D, the Combat G, and yours truly, the sports professor.
Oh, you want to hear me talk? You can hear me talk. Just put a recorder in your room when you're not there, and your wife or your mother is around. Okay. like I said, that CPAP machine, that extra CPAP machine at your house, that's mine. All right. Have that distilled water to the max limit when I'm over there. Okay. Don't worry about nothing. I'll send you out for Uber. You'll be our Uber driver. Okay.
The recording will serve as a vibrational device for your wife, your wife's Clubber D pleasure.
And your wife bought me this cup too.
And the bad part is that I think Flo is the only one watching us right now.
We're at the end. So,
all right, Flo, you caught us at the end. We love you. Be blessed, bro. We'll see you soon. Everybody else, we will see you in 2 weeks. February the 15th. Remember, we will be on Thursday for a huge show. We're going to talk UFC 298. We're going to talk PFL versus Bellator. We're going to talk Fury versus Usyk, excuse me, if I can get all these words out. And yeah, so February 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. in Denver and 5 p.m. in the West Coast. Don't be weird like me. What was that?
Might be the 15th. That Saturday's a little rough.
I did say the 15th, didn't I?
The 17th. It's fine. Either way.
Oh, my bad. Yes, it will be the 15th. Let me clarify that. It will be, and I need to do this for the podcast too, so I can have it to edit out and use it later. We are going to have our next show on February 15th, Thursday, February 15th, 2024 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Boom! There we go.
Bam! Too easy.
Bam!
Just to let y'all know, I'm working on my top 5 Mexican fighters. That short will be out pretty soon. Tune in. We will let you guys know when I do my top 5 boxing Mexican fighters. Okay, Mexican fighters have been a great staple to the boxing community, as well as a Cuban, African American, European fighters. You know what I'm saying? We all make this boxing family. But I'm gonna highlight top 5 fighters from certain nationalities or certain regions of the world, and this is my top 5. Okay, so. If you guys don't rock with it, I want to hear who you guys would feel should be in that top 5. These are going to be my top 5 fighters. The first one's going to be the top 5 Mexican fighters. You guys should get that pretty soon. It'll be one of our shorts. So tune in or add or subscribe or both to Bottom Line Sports and Ball and Buzz on YouTube, okay? Check us out. I got y'all.
Yes. Yeah, as he said, subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS. Subscribe on YouTube so you can see those videos. Catch that short of Clubber D golfing, or he tries to claim that he doesn't know what happened, but I say you go check it out because it's pretty damn funny. And also be on the lookout for his shorts. Maybe he'll do one on the belts as well. And he is definitely going to do a Puerto Rican fighters because I've already demanded that we get one of those for all my Boricuas.
I got you.
So God bless everybody. Good to see you back, brother. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in for the star of the show, Clubber D, the Combat G, my main man.
Shout out to Flo. That's a real star right there. That's my man right there.
Truly, yes, the sports professor. And for our boy, Flo, out in the trenches serving our country. Thank you. Be safe. We'll see you soon. Canteen as well, serving our country. We love you too.
Well, Flo, Canteen. Hot Take Jake. You're wrong about Brock Purdy. You sucker mother sucker. Okay, you're wrong about Brock Purdy. I'm going to get on your ass on Sunday, but you completely wrong about Brock Purdy.
Pause.
I don't care. No pause. Jake, this is a promo for you.
No. Get up in
I'm going to get you on Sunday, all right? Brock Purdy is the man.
On that note, we are out. Peace. Subscribe at Ball and Buds. BALLANDBUD.
Peace with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist. Yo, I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement. That's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat close. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated. Folks, get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe-to-toe, release the flow created by this mic pro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. Hard like winter cold. Bust these fools, anything less than killing whack rappers is a crime. I stay trying to get mine. Stacking value, packing venues, winning over time. Ain't no fine timeline. Open your eyes, you're looking for the best, and this is what you find. Game is only for the bold. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Introducing from parts unknown, your UFC and combat sports insider, Clever D, the Combat G, and the Sports Professor.